Hi all, thanks for joining me in Oracle concept session. This time around we are going to see how can we select data from Oracle table. Okay, last time around we checked on the concept of create table statement. So we saw how to create a table in Oracle database, and this time around we are going to see how to select data from the table. Okay, so for the people who don't know how to create a table, I'll urge you guys to go through that video series and video lectures. There are two parts of it, and for everybody's benefit, I'll also mention those links into the description section so that you can go through them. So before, if anybody is not aware of the create table syntax, please go through them and then join us back into this select statement video series. Okay, so let's check out the syntax of the select statement. Okay, so it starts with select, then you provide the column list or expressions or aggregate functions, or you can provide star as well. Okay, so star signifies fetch all the columns from the given table name. Then you provide this after the column list you provide the from clause. Okay, these are the keywords in Oracle. Okay, you provide from, and then from after the from you provide the table name from which you want to fetch the data. Okay, then afterwards you can provide the where clause, wherein you can provide the filter condition. Okay, and you can also group the data and select the desired output, aggregated output, using the group by clause, and you have to provide some group by column on which you have to provide the group in, right? So you can order the result set according to the columns that you want. So you want to order result set according to the age, or according to date of birth, or according to salary. Person having most salary should be on top, so you can use order by clause for that. Then there is a having clause. So having clause is normally used to filter the groups. So you have you want data from a group wherein age or average age is greater than 30. You want to get the data for those departments itself, so something like that. So for those kind of for that kind of purpose you use having clause. Okay, so we are going to go into the examples for each and every clause that we have discussed till now, but this is the high level idea or syntax of the select statement. Okay, so let's get into the examples now, but before that let's create a table. Okay, so since I'm a fan of Game of Thrones, and particularly I'm a fan of Starks, I thought of creating a table for them. Okay, so the Starks table contains serial number, first name, last name, age, address, country, and gender. Okay, and so this is the table for them. And then there is a there are certain insert statement using which we can insert data into the table. So I'm going to run these things. So we are going to prepare a separate video lecture on insert statements as well, which will follow in some days. But meanwhile, let me create table and let me insert data. So I guess that's done, and let's jump into the examples now. Like I said, in the syntax, right, we have to provide select first, select keyword, and then we have to provide the column list. So now here I'm going to select all the columns and all the records from Starks. Starks is the table name, so I can use select star from Starks. Okay, let's check what is the output of this statement. Now if you see, I have all the records and all the columns from the Starks table. Okay, now in the next example we want to select all the records but certain columns. Okay, so in example I have selected serial number, then first name, last name from the Starks. Okay, let's run this. If you see, I have got only 3 columns which I have mentioned in the select statement. So serial number, first name, last name, and from the start. So if you see, we are the syntax is select, then the column list. So column list is provided by comma separated columns, right? So I have mentioned 3 columns. So first column, comma, second column, comma, third column, then from clause, and then the table name. Okay, so this is the syntax. Then in the next example, I have used where condition. Like I said, so there is a filtering criteria which you can use on while selecting the data. So now I want to select all the records where country is Westeros, right? So let me yeah. So here's the result, and we can see out of 8 records we have got 7 records. So in Westeros country we have 7 people who are there out of the 8 in the Starks table. Now moving into the next example, if you see in the table, right, all the names, the first name and last name columns are in lowercase. Now while displaying the result, if you want to change the case, so in this example I have used upper while changing the displaying the first name. So all the records would have first name in uppercase and the last name would be in init case, okay, init caps. So let's run this statement. Now if you see, the first name is changed to upper and the last name is changed to init caps. So this is how you can use functions, single row functions, what we say, for these kind of functions. So they can be applied to every record in the result sets. Okay, so this is how you can do. So what we did right now is we selected certain columns, we filtered them out, and on top of that we used some functions to alter the result set while displaying. So database the data into data has not been changed, but just while displaying those records you have altered the data sets. That's what we have done. Showing the syntax, I told you we can order our result sets. Now how can you do that? Using the order by clause, right? Now let me run this. If you check the result set, the result set has been modified or ordered according to the first name, and moreover the result set has been sorted on the first name but in ascending order. So basically, if you don't provide anything after the first name column, so if you see in the next example, I have provided as DESC. So this keyword denotes that I want to sort my result set on the basis of the column but in descending order, right? So if I provide DESC after this thing, after the first name, then my result set would be sorted according to first name itself but in descending order. See the result set now. Okay, now let me move on to the next example, wherein I have sorted the result set on 2 columns, right? So first one is the last name, second is the age. So I want to see the result set sorted on the basis of last name, that too in descending order, but the second column on which I need to sort is on the basis of age. So basically all the result set which is sorted according to last name needs to be resort or rearranged according to the age. So if 2 records have same last name, the person with lowest age should come on the top. So now let's see this. See, we have 7 Starks and we have 1 Snow, right? So all the Starks in the result set have been rearranged with the younger on top, correct? So if you see, Rickon, Arya, Bran, Sansa, Robb, Catelyn and Eddard is the sequence. Okay, now let's move on to the next record. So I have used one more function here, which is concatenation operator. This normally we use in Oracle to join two columns or connect two columns. Okay, so here the result set would be of two columns only. Though I have used three columns in this select statement, I have used concatenation operator in between two. So what will happen is I'll get a serial number, comma, or I'll get a serial number in one column, and second column would be concatenation of first name space and the last name. Let's see the result. See, first name, sorry, serial number, then first name space and last name. Now in next example, what I want to do is I want to give alias. So if you see the result set, then the second column name is something weird, first underscore name and pipe and all that stuff, whatever we have mentioned here. So to give proper naming to the result set, we use alias. And how to do that? After the selected column, you give use keyword as and give the name whatever you want, or the alias name you want. So if you see the result set, the column name is changed to name now. Okay, serial number is as is because I have not provided any alias here. So the result set is something like this. Okay, so this is how you provide the alias. Now moving on to the next thing, next example, what I have done here, I have provided alias, but I have used one more function. So this is one function, concatenation is one function that we have used, and on top of that I have used one more function, which is converting our name into the init caps. So you can say it as cascaded function or something like that. Okay. So if you see, the name has changed into the proper case, and on top of that we have alias as well. Okay, now last thing that we want to check before we move on to the groups and having clause, all that stuff, is how to get the distinct values or unique values out of the table. So you can use distinct function or distinct clause there, and use select distinct, then column name, then from and table name. Okay, so if you see, in our Starks table we had two surnames. One is the Stark and second is Jon Snow. So for Jon Snow we had Snow surname. So that's what we are getting. Okay, so that's about a few of the example that I wanted to cover for the select statement before we move on to the group by clause, wherein we'll talk about groups rather than individual records. Okay, so hope you guys have got something out of it. Okay, so let's check on the group by functionality and having clause and order by clause in this select statement. So for that, again I'm going to create one table as employee, wherein I have employee ID, employee name, employee date of birth, employee salary, and the department number for to which it belongs to. Okay, and then I have used certain insert statement to insert data into that table. And let me run these statements. Okay, looks like data has been inserted. Now let's go into the examples. Now using the group by clause, I can answer certain queries, like something like what is the minimum salary per department, what is the maximum salary per department, what is the average salary per department, right? So for them I can use this kind of group by clause in the select statement. Okay, let's check on that. Okay, result set shows us clearly what is the maximum salary, minimum salary, and average salary in that particular department. So to achieve this, what I have done is I have used group by clause. I have provided group by column as department. So essentially what this does is it arranges data into this employee table into groups. So it divides data per department, and then it fetches maximum, minimum, and average salary for that particular group. So in this case, department is our group. So per department it is telling us the maximum salary, minimum salary, average salary and all, right? So I have 10, 11, 12 and 14, these 4 groups I have. So I have got the salaries according to our functions in the results, right? Now I can also get number of employees per department, and I can order them according to the first column. If you see, I have not used any column name there, I have used number. So you can use instead of column name, you can use digit indicating the column number which is going to be in the result set. So you can also do that. If you see, it has sorted the result set according to the department, and moreover using the count star function it has given us the counting or number of records per department. Okay, moving on, if you want to restrict output of these particular queries, for that particular group, you can use having. So now the result set is showing, so using this query what we are achieving is we are getting the counts per department, which is what we did in earlier example, but we are restricting the data set for the departments whose count is greater than 1. So all the departments whose count is less than or equal to 1 will get filtered out. So let's check the output. If you see, 14 is not coming up because that particular department had only 1 employee, right? So that's why we are resulting, or we are restricting that particular department to come into the output. Now there is one more thing there is one more example which I wanted to showcase, which is restricting that department itself in the result set. So here we used filtering criteria on the basis of aggregated column. Here we are using the filtering criteria on the basis of the column in the table itself. So let's run this. You should not see any record for department number 10. So if you see 11, 12 and 14. But why I showcased you this is this is a bad practice, because you can very well filter out department number 10 using the where column itself, where clause itself. So what I am trying to say is you can do something like this. Okay, this will also give you same result, correct? And why I am saying use this is, so the difference between the two queries, right? Output is same, but what happens in this case is before having gets executed after the grouping function or grouping of the data is done. So essentially, while calculating the result, result for 10 or count for 10 department has been calculated, and afterwards the restriction or filtering has been done. Whereas in this case, department number 10 records were filtered earlier and then grouping has happened. So essentially we would save time if we filter out records before grouping itself. I just wanted to showcase this example so that we can have certain kind of good practice while creating the SQL statements. Okay, so that's it for today's video lecture, and hopefully you got something out of it. Thanks very much for joining me in this video lecture, and please subscribe, share and like our video series. Thank you.